welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Focal Point AFR Talk. I want to talk about serious shift gears here in a minute, but I want to just kind of close the loop on Obamacare. The more we hear about this thing, the worse it gets, the more problems that we discover. Rob, grab clip number 2. Again, what we're seeing all across the fruited plain is that Obamacare is costing people jobs. It is costing people hours at work. Their hours are being cut from full-time to under 30 so that their employers don't come under the employer mandate. So people are losing their insurance, their employer insurance, and they are losing hours. They're losing money. They're losing insurance, and they're losing money. And realize now, because of Obamacare, they're going to be thrown on these exchanges where they're going to have to be out of pocket for their own insurance. They're going to have to purchase their own insurance individually on the market. It's always more expensive. If you're purchasing anything on the individual market instead of as part of a group, you always get some kind of a group discount. You know, when companies go out there and buy a fleet of vehicles, they don't pay the same price for each one of those vehicles that you pay if you walk into a showroom and buy a car yourself. There's always a volume discount that you get. It makes it less expensive per person or per unit, however you want to put it. So it's going to be more expensive, and people are going to have less money to spend. I mean, the whole thing, if you're a worker, this thing is a total and complete debacle. Here's another example out of Houston, Texas, and now we're really getting down to it because this is a hospital, and listen to what they had to do because of Obamacare.
Covenant says it expects a $12.5 million decrease in reimbursement this year and for years to come. And they say it's because of the Affordable Care Act, cuts in Medicare, and other federal cuts. Now, a statement released by Covenant CEO Richard Parks says Covenant Health is financially stable, but changes we've experienced thus far and will continue to undergo are the direct result of reduced reimbursement and our efforts to make affordable health care services available in our community going forward. Covenant says its leadership will continue to position itself for success in the new normal of healthcare.
A couple of things I want you to catch. It was 49 people that they laid off. So this hospital has to lay off 49 people because the reimbursement rate is going to drop by $12.5 million. They're going to get $12.5 million less in reimbursements this year than they got last year. They just cannot afford to keep these people on the payroll. So 49 people are losing their job for one reason, and that reason is Obamacare. And the sobering thing at the end of this paragraph, the last thing that the reporter says, Covenant says its leadership, well, this is what Covenant says, the hospital in their press release, it's going to continue to position itself for success in the new normal of healthcare. Did you get that? What they're saying is this is now the new normal. Reduced access, diminished access, more expensive health insurance, fewer medical workers, all of that, they are saying is now part of the new normal under Obamacare. So you got this hospital saying, okay, we're just going to, we're just going to have to take it. Nothing we can do about it. This diminished reality is now going to be the new normal under healthcare. 888-589-8840. Number to call if you want to join the program. Here is a story from New Jersey. 100,000 New Jersey residents are going to lose their affordable health plans under Obamacare. The latest casualty of Obamacare may be low-cost New Jersey healthcare policy. So who gets hurt here? These are low-cost. These are the least expensive healthcare plans that are available in the state of New Jersey. They are going to be illegal because they don't have enough bells and whistles in them that are going to be mandated by Obamacare. So it will be illegal to own one of these policies on January 1. It'll be illegal for anybody to sell them. This is the most affordable insurance that people in New Jersey have. That's gone. That's out of here. It's toast. It's in the archives. It's history. So these people aren't going to, so 100,000 people in New Jersey are going to lose affordable health insurance. Though Andrew Johnson, National Review Online, though President Obama promised if you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan, period. That's a quote from Obama. That will not be the case for approximately 106,000 New Jersey residents whose plans will disappear under the law, like Atlantis slipping under the waves of the sea. Known as the Basic and Essential, or B&E, healthcare plans, The policy costs as little as a couple $100s per month and is the choice of 71% of New Jersey residents on the individual insurance market. This is the most popular plan. If you don't get your insurance through an employer, this is the most popular plan in the state of New Jersey. 71% of the people in New Jersey that buy insurance buy this plan. It is basic and essential, just covers the basics, and that's what they want because it saves them money. So what happens to the B&E plans? They don't meet the regulations imposed by the Affordable Care Act because they do not cover services that the law will force every individual health insurance plan to provide. So it's going to jack the cost of insurance up because Obama says you've got every plan has got to cover these procedures and these treatments, no ifs, ands, or buts. Well, every time you add some kind of coverage, the cost is going to go up. Every time you add an option on an automobile, the cost of that automobile is going to go up. Whether or not you ever plan to use that option or not, the cost is still going to go up. According to Rutgers University Center for Health Policy Director Joel Cantor, the monthly plans of $150 for a 25-year-old male or $1,100 for a family with parents in their 40s will easily be 3 or 4 times more for a standard policy on the individual market. So you live in New Jersey, your health care costs are going to go up 300 to 400%. And they got a real problem with doctor shortages. We've talked about this before. Another story on Newsmax this morning. Lisa Barron. Healthcare professionals are warning that there could be a wide gap between the number of people seeking medical treatment under Obamacare and the number of doctors available to provide it. Now realize 10,000 people are going to be retiring every day for the next 19 years. 10,000 people are going to retire every single day for the next 19 years. These are people now, they're going to be going on Medicare, most of them. They're going to need doctors to treat them. Doctors are getting out of the business. Young, intelligent Americans don't want to go into medicine because they can see the handwriting on the wall. Reimbursements are down, income is down. They've got these loans they got to pay off, and they're thinking, man, this is going to kill me if I pursue medicine, the kind of student loan I'd come out with, and there's no way to generate enough income in this business now under Obamacare to pay for it. So the number of doctors that are going to be available to treat all these people are shrinking by the day. The Association of American Medical Colleges projects the shortage of doctors will reach almost 30,000 in 2 years and will grow to about 66,000 in little more than a decade. So in 10 years, we're going to have 66,000 fewer doctors than we need. So what good, I ask you this question, what good is it to have insurance if you've got no place to use it? What good is it to have insurance if you have no doctor who will even see you? What good is it to have insurance if you can't even get into a doctor's office to be seen and to be treated? And again, that's all part of the way that leftists think, that socialists think. They think that nobody's going to adjust their behavior. Everybody's going to keep doing exactly what they've been doing now. So they were just assuming the same number of people were going to go into the medical profession despite the fact that the paperwork was going to increase, the regulations were going to increase, the income was going to drop. They just assumed that people would keep piling into the medical profession. Well, they're not. They're checking out. And again, who gets hurt? It's the little guy that gets hurt. Socialism hurts the little guy. It is capitalism, free enterprise, that lifts the little guy because it gives him the opportunity to make of his life what he chooses. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to James in Houston, Texas. James, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Brian. I appreciate you taking the call, and I really appreciate you serving us the way you do. I really appreciate it. I just want to say that, you know, when I was a kid, I guess maybe in middle school age, I had this kid, and all he wanted to do was just beat my head in with a baseball bat and a couple of other kids, and all we were doing was just figuring out how we were going to get away from him for the longest time. And then one day I got fed up with it, and I let him come over, and I let him do what he had to do, and I took my licking, and I had to put my dukes up as well, and I'm not condoning fighting in schools, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and it may not look like the right thing, but that bully never bothered me ever again. And I want to say to the people that are listening, that are on the fence, hey, you know what? There's a price that we're going to have to pay. We're going to pay it now. We're going to pay it later. I say that we quit being chicken. We let them do what we got to do. We shut it down. We defund it. We pay the consequences just like our forefathers did for our independence. And let's quit being afraid of sacrifice.
Amen to that. Well, I hear you, James, and that's exactly what Jan was saying. It's time for us to call his bluff. It's time for us to stop being bullied by President Obama and stand up to him. And just like you experienced, James, you stand up to the bullies. They're not ready for it. They're not used to it. Their threats are empty, and they turn and they run with their tails tucked between their legs. It's time for us, I believe, to stand up to the bully that President Barack Obama has become. All right, James, great call. Thank you. Let's go to Greg in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the city of my birth. Greg, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Brian, love the show. Been on a couple times. Syria. I'm so tired of America always having to be the police of the world, and we always, we're always putting the most money in for the United Nations, and we put the most blood in. And I think it's time for some of those other countries to step up, and if they want to go stop genocide or chemical weapons, let them go over there, and we stay out of it because we do not have any interest. I think it's ironic. We do have interest in Egypt, and we do nothing there, and Obama says nothing about the Coptic Christians, but then he's all over Syria. If he was really a Christian, he'd be all over Egypt. He's not a Christian. He's a Muslim, and Obamacare is the biggest assault on our liberties and the economy, next to, the EPA. I'm going to get off, and I'm going to let you run with that.
All right.
Appreciate the show, Brian.
Okay, Greg, thank you. Those are kind words, and thank you for that. And you look about the threat, the threat that Obamacare represents to liberty in all of its forms. I mean, it's a significant threat to religious liberty, this abortifacient mandate. Obamacare hasn't budged on that. He's going to make employers, even if it violates their own conscience, violates their own most deeply held religious principle, he's going to force them to pay for abortion-causing medications for their employees against their own consciences, against their most deeply held religious principles. This is absolutely un-American, unconstitutional, and unconscionable. Focal Point, AFR Talk. We'll be right back. Stay with us.